Everyone's here.
All right. Good morning, everyone. We will now call the City Council meeting of Tuesday, November 12th, 2024 to order. Clerk Fuentes, please call the roll.
Thank you, Council President. Council President Pro Tem LaCava,
Present.
Councilmember Campbell, Councilmember Whitburn, Councilmember Foster,
Here.
Councilmember Von Wilper, Councilmember Lee,
Here.
Member Campillo,
Here.
Councilmember Moreno,
Present.
and Council President Elo Rivera.
Present.
Also attending the meeting are Assistant City Attorney Leslie Fitzgerald, Independent Budget Analyst Charles Modica, Council Affairs Advisor in the Mayor's Office Coda Zeiser, and myself, your City Clerk, Diana Fuentes.
All right. Thank you, Clerk Fuentes. Let's get started with an invocation led by Clerk Fuentes, which will be followed by with a land acknowledgement and Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilmember Campillo.
Grant those who hold office in this city the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their offices to promote the well-being of all people.
We respectfully acknowledge that the Kumeyaay Nation are the original inhabitants of the unceded land now known as San Diego. And despite enduring the horrors of genocide and colonization, the Kumeyaay spirit remains unbroken. We honor the resilience of their ancestors who fought to protect their culture and land. Today, they carry their legacy forward, ensuring that their traditions continue to thrive in gratitude and strength. We stand with the Kumeyaay Nation, connected to our past and committed to a thriving future. If you're able, please face the flag. Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will now go over how the public can offer their public testimony during today's meeting. If you are in person, please complete a speaker slip located at the entrance of chambers and place it on top of the box indicated at the high lectern at the front of the room. Please submit your speaker slips in a timely manner to ensure proper meeting management. Council ambassadors are available near the entrance of chambers and can assist with questions and speaker slips. No further in-person testimony will be taken once the council begins virtual testimony. If you would like to participate virtually, you can do so via the webinar information found on the agenda cover page. Members of the public who wish to provide virtual testimony must enter the virtual queue by raising their hand by dialing *9 or pressing the raise your hand icon before the queue closes. The queue will close when the last virtual speaker finishes speaking or 5 minutes after in-person testimony ends, whichever occurs first. For meeting management, during the proclamations and consent portions of the agenda, speakers will have 1 minute per person per item and up to a maximum of 3 minutes if there are 3 or more items in that portion of the agenda. For purpose of today's meeting, the order of business is anticipated to be as follows, and you can see this on the slide shown. Consent and proclamation items, items pulled from the consent agenda, if any, and then the discussion items this morning will be taken in the following order. Items 330, item 331, followed by non-agenda public comment. And at the 2 p.m. council meeting session, the items will be taken in the following order. Items 332, item 333, item S501, and item 334. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Clerk. All right. We've got a quorum. Let's proceed with approval of our consent agenda. Do we have any requests to pull items from the consent agenda? Hearing none. Let's proceed with public comment on the consent agenda, please.
Thank you, Council President. Please note if each speaker will have 1 minute per item per person. If you would like to speak on 3 or more items, you will have a maximum of 3 minutes. The consent agenda includes items 50 through 58, 100 through 111, and S500. We did not receive any comments on these items via our e-comment form. Also, please let me note, for the record, the potential reappointments that are on the agenda this morning, item 110, are the potential reappointments of Danielle Moore and Sid Varakara to the San Diego Unified District Board of Commissioners. We have Julie Porter here to speak on item 51. Julie, if you can please come to the high lectern. You'll have 1 minute to speak on item 51.
Good morning, City Council. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Julie Porter, and I'm with Lived Experience Advisors. Regarding item 51, I fully support any comprehensive psychological services that are needed citywide. It is important for the well-being of the people. I receive services myself, and it is I need them, so I know that others need them as well. Thank you for hearing me today.
Thank you. I've started the 5-minute timer here in council chambers, going to those participating remotely, starting with Jeff Huter. If you can please unmute. Please let me know which item or items you wish to speak to.
I'd like to speak to S500.
Thank you. You'll have 1 minute. Please proceed.
As part of authorization of this public records portal, one thing that might be advisable or of benefit to the public is to provide some sort of training for the use of public records requests, because one of the things we find is we make a lot of public records requests, and what we get are a bunch of attachments to council meetings, which we already have and don't need more of, or we get our own communications with the city, but we very rarely find any actual internal, communications or information. And the reason it's important is a lot of times we're trying to figure out what the legislative intent was of the council on complex municipal code. And getting that information would be extremely helpful to us. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is phone number ending in 7968, *9. If you can please unmute. Sorry, *6.
Thank you, City Clerk Fuentes. 50, 51, 58, 100, 108, and 109. President Ito Rivera, I'll take a few seconds for a thank you to all who ran for an office last Tuesday, and congratulations to all who obtained an office to serve all the people of San Diego. Love to all. Okay, number 50, yes to the office of the city clerk getting software. Number 51, yes to psychological services for SDPD and fire and rescue and whoever else that will cover. A clear and focused mind is vital to their split-second decisions. Thank you and love and value all of you so very, very much. Number 58. Yes, a great improvement to the ethics fines, long overdue. Number 100. Yes to more transparency and accountability for these association-type hotels for regular TOT and in lieu TOT. Number 108, and I will combine it with 109. They're both litigation. 108 is pothole and bike accident, settlement $100,000. Number 109 is a car and pedestrian accident, and this is a big one, $400,000 settlement. So now I'll make a general statement on both of them. No, absolutely no to more litigation of this type. Yet I say this with sadness. Yet without, yet without these tragedies and trauma, how would we ever wake up to our lack of maintenance of our roads, our sidewalks, storm drains, and on and on and on? So it is sad, yet it is true. So love to all. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Blair Beekman. If you can please unmute. And please let me know which item or items you wish to speak to.
Hi, thank you. Blair Beekman, item 101 to 107. I can combine that as all one item. And then item 110, and then item 111.
Thank you. I have 3 minutes. Please proceed.
Thank you. First, to speak to the many conflict of interest items you're trying to address with your commission processes. Thank you for the work of your commission process. I think it's going to be really important. Well, actually, it's your office issues. I'm sorry about that. I thought it had to do more with commissions, but I may be wrong. It's office issues. Oh, here's one of Commissioner of Police practices. So maybe a combination of things. A real good luck that we are working on our public meeting body process, and good luck how that process goes. I hope the same good luck can be with trust ordinance ideas that I think can often have some sort of conflict of interest. I've offered, if we work small, incremental, honest steps in technology practices of local neighborhoods and community, that's the way we build our future trust ordinance where everyone can be agreeable. Because everyone should be agreeable on tech accountability. Good luck how we can do that. Onto items 110. After talking about tech responsibility, 110 is Unified Port District Board Commissioners reappointments. For the Port District Board Commissioner's Office, they really wanted to be practicing better democratic practices into their future. I hope that's going well. They were a bit startled to think that they had to be like actually hearing the opinions and taking the opinions of public more, but we're learning how to do that again, believe it or not. Good luck how we can continue those good efforts, and that we work towards really good progressive values. I feel is the important way to go. Is if we're honest and good about it, I think that's what can help us in the end. And good luck with working on green issues for the port. That's a really important talking point. And for item 111, budgeting monitoring key dates for 2025. It sounds like we're going to be in a different realm at this time and how to talk about budget issues and stuff. So like what I said previously, if we want to just be honest, direct with ourselves, really make our feelings understood, I'm hoping a progressive ideal can win out and be understood as just our better human values and ways to think about issues. Good luck how we can do that, and good luck on the honest tracks, honest path to do those things, and direct path and clear path with everyone, good communication with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Our last speaker is Sandy Miskowski. 5-minute timer has concluded. No other speakers will be taken. Sandy, I have asked you to unmute. If you can let me know which item or items you wish to speak to.
Yes, good morning. I wanted to speak to item 51 regarding psychological services. So this is a really important issue for not only our fire and police department, but for all of our frontline workers, especially our frontline workers that are serving to address homelessness in our region. All of our frontline workers in outreach and shelter staff and case management, they are all experiencing secondary traumas related to violence and destitution caused by our situations where residents are having to live in homelessness in San Diego. And we need this level of psychological services for all of our frontline workers. I appreciate that we want to increase the budget to provide this for fire and police, but we need a budget that also provides this for everybody working on the front lines, especially in homelessness, because treating secondary trauma is another way to solve homelessness in San Diego. Thank you.
Thank you. And this concludes public comment on the consent agenda. Thank you.
All right, we'll begin discussion with Councilmember Campillo.
Thank you, Council President. I'll move approval of the consent agenda and speak to item 110. I want to thank our Port Commissioners, Danielle Moore and Sid Varakara, for their great service to the city and to our region and to our state over the last several years. Their good work shepherding the port to be with a budgetary surplus, to be a good employer, a good landlord. They have done a great work and emphasizing public safety in the Unified Port District boundaries. They have done a fantastic job, and so I am very happy to support them both to continue on for the next 4 years in this role. And that will conclude my motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Campillo. All right, we've got a motion. Turn to Council President Pro Tem LaCava.
Thank you, Council President. I'll echo my colleague, Councilmember Campillo's motion by seconding it, and also speak to 110. I'm proud to support the reappointment of Danielle Moore and Sid Varakara to the San Diego Unified Port District Board of Commissioners. Both of them are highly qualified commissioners who bring incredible value to this board and have helped lead converting the port to a more green and sustainable economy. I thank them for their contributions to the port and to the city of San Diego, and for their willingness to continue serving. And again, I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Council President Pro Tem. We've got a motion and a second. Councilmember Lee.
Thank you, Council President. Also speaking to item 110, and want to take this moment to acknowledge both Commissioners Moore and Varakara on their reappointments to the San Diego Unified District Port District Board of Commissioners. Ms. Moore especially has been a critical voice in her tenure thus far on the commission, especially considering the challenges that I think we've seen at the Port of San Diego, and her leadership and her continued even-keeled approach and representation of the city of San Diego is certainly appreciated. We had the opportunity to help nominate Mr. Barakra to the port earlier this year. It seems like not that long ago, and this is really, that was just a portion of an existing term, and are excited to see what Sid has the opportunity to do in terms of a leadership role in the years ahead. I know having spoken to his colleagues, even though we can see it when they come and present to us, that there is a tremendous amount of respect, Sid, for the work that you've done so far on the port and the leadership and the voice that you've provided, again, representing the city of San Diego. So thank you for that, and proud to support them both.
Thank you, Councilmember Lee. Councilmember Foster?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I too would like to comment on item 110 and just want to, one, congratulate and just say thank you to both Danielle and Sid for their continued efforts and their work at the port. I really want to thank both of you because you have helped in so many ways that aligns with our office, and that is in the area of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and also your willingness and engagement with the San Diego Energy Equity Campus. And just really want to thank you for helping us there and finding potential tenants and so forth, and the work that you're putting on to uplift the District 4 community. So thank you so much. And that concludes my comments.
Thank you, Councilmember Foster. Councilmember Moreno?
Thank you. I too have comments on item 110 on the reappointment to the San Diego Unified Port District Board of Commissioners. To Commissioner Moore, thank you very much for your work, and Commissioner Barakra, I think you guys have both done a great job representing the city at the port. I know I have you guys on speed dial, and we have the tough conversations, especially given the proximity to the port. I think my district is, I shouldn't say the only neighborhood, but one of the neighborhoods that is most impacted by the port. And we want that impact to be positive, right? So we continue to advocate. I continue to advocate for my community, and with the help of Commissioners Moore and Barakra, we get to do that together. So I'm gonna keep on calling. You guys know that. But thank you so much for the work that you guys have done, are doing, and the work that we're gonna do ahead. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Moreno. All right, Councilmember Campillo made a motion to approve the consent agenda. It was seconded by Council President Pro Tem LaCava. I will also express my appreciation to our commissioners. Sid, thank you for all the work that you do, the way you hit the ground running, and have continued the tradition of San Diego sending very skilled and effective leaders to the port. And obviously, Danielle does incredible work there alongside you. Mike does all right as well. Can't help myself. I always have to take a shot whenever. But really, we do appreciate the work very, very much. So we've got a motion and a second. I don't see any additional requests to speak to this item. Clerk, if you'd please call the roll.
I started the voting system. Please cast your vote. Councilor Moreno, would you like?
Yeah, my system isn't working, but I vote yes.
That does pass unanimously 7-0 with Councilmember Whitburn and Councilmember Von Wilbert absent.
All right, thank you so much, Clerk. Do we have any mayor, council, city attorney, IBA, or city clerk comments? Councilmember Campbell.
Thank you, Council President. As many know, I've been absent on medical leave, and I'm so grateful to be back. I want to thank my staff for their continued support and hard work to serve the residents of District 2. And I want to thank you, my colleagues, for your support throughout my recovery. Thank you so much.
Welcome back, Councilmember Campbell. Good to have you back. Clerk.
Yeah, sorry, I'll be quick, but I did want to take a moment to to announce that I'm very happy to announce that the installation of our new updated digital kiosk on the 12th floor, it's about 4 times bigger than the original pilot kiosk, and it has information writing agenda information for City Council, Committee, and Planning Commission, Board and Commission information, room reservation schedule, and other public notices. It's located right when you get off of the 12th floor. An additional one, just like this one, will also be installed in the lobby of the city administration building in the coming weeks. I would like to thank our program manager, Miley Oliva, and our ISA 3, Keith Paul, for their work in putting together this update. But we really want to thank the Sustainability and Mobility Department and Director Heather Werner for providing the digital kiosk equipment. We saw that they were able to gift it to the office of the city clerk, and we were able to put it to better use in a public area. So special thanks to Christopher Bench for the Sustainability and Mobility Department for his assistance in getting the kiosk set up, Bruce Eaton from the Department of IT for assistance in the network, getting it network ready, and Pavel Mendez from Zensar for upgrading the system to Windows 11 and making them compatible with the city security standards. A lot of stuff goes on just to make a kiosk happen, and I did want to take a moment to thank them for this great thing that's going to be much better, easy access for our residents here in City Hall. Again, 2 of them are coming up, 12th floor and lobby. Thank you.
Thank you, Clerk. Appreciate the work you continue to do to make, to improve access. All right, I don't see any additional requests for comments, so let's move on to our proclamation items. Clerk, do we have public comment on our proclamations?
I see no public comment here in chambers on our proclamation items. Again, for proclamations, it's 1 minute per item per person. If you'd like to speak on 3 or more items, you will have a maximum of 3 minutes. Going to those participating online, I've started the 5-minute timer. Blair Beekman, if you can please unmute and let me know which item or items you wish to speak to.
Hi, can you hear me, Blair Beekman?
Yes, let me know which item or items you wish to speak to on the
Yes.
proclamations.
Item 31, please. Just one item.
Thank you. Please proceed. You'll have a minute.
Thank you. Hopefully my Zoom won't cut out. Just to thank for this item, Hep B and Hep C Awareness Day. I've had Hep C in my life. I took antiviral medication right before COVID started, in fact, that really helped me and cured the Hep C virus from being alive and spreading. And so I'm feeling a lot better because of that. And it happened at a really opportune time right before COVID. So that gave me an additional boost of viral help to deal with viral issues. So thank you for this item. Good luck in working on these issues. I think vaccines do have a good purpose. I'm learning how to believe in that. And I think we have to learn to trust that and really hold the Trump administration accountable to that. And thank you that Councilperson Campbell with that. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. That does conclude public comment on the proclamations.
All right, thank you, Clerk. Let's begin with Council President Pro Tem LaCava.
All right, thank you, Council President. I'll speak on several items, starting out with item 30, Chris Adamson Day. I want to recognize Chris for joining us in chambers today in the front row, alongside his parents, coach, and classmates. Chris is the first T11 fully blind high school athlete in San Diego. Just referring to him as an athlete hides his accomplishments to date. Chris is a 5-time state champion, the national record holder in the 100-meter T11 competition, and earning the distinguished honor of twice being recognized by the USA Track and Field Junior Olympics as a 2-time All-American. These are just a few of the ways that Chris has demonstrated his extreme dedication and commitment and hard work. On behalf of the City Council, we would like to congratulate you on your most recent success of being named by the USA Paralympics as a member of the 2024 High School Para All-American Track Team. I want to reiterate the appreciation we have for your unwavering athletic spirit and academic achievements. Chris has demonstrated that physical limitations do not define one's potential, breaking barriers and paving the way for future generations of para-athletes. And so I ask my colleagues to join me in proclaiming today, November 12th, Chris Adamson Day in the city of San Diego. With that, I'll move on to S502, Renee Mezzo Day. Thank you, Council President, for bringing forward this proclamation. Certainly want to express my deep appreciation for Renee's work here at the city of San Diego over the years. She has shown great leadership skills as she tackled through the unprecedented times of post-pandemic change, became a mentor to both staff and colleagues. We will miss you, but it is with confidence I say you will continue to make positive impacts wherever your career takes you. S503, La Jolla Park Coastal Historic District Day. I want to thank all of those involved in the process of getting the La Jolla Coast, extending from Coast Walk to Wellview Point, designated as a historic district in the National Register of Historic Places. La Jolla Coastal Historic District is the first nationally recognized historic district in La Jolla and one of only 26 in San Diego County. It is known for its exceptional beauty and marine life, becoming one of the most visited locations in all of Southern California. I want to thank those involved in this preservation effort and appreciate the opportunity to join the mayor and Congressman Peters at the dedication ceremony last week. And I'll close with S504, Warrior Foundation Freedom Station 20th Anniversary Day. Extending my sincere gratitude to the Warrior Foundation Freedom Station and all the great work they do for our veterans. This organization was founded on a belief that we can do better for men and women who suffer critical injuries while serving their country. They are committed to supporting our warriors in a variety of ways, such as providing quality of life resources and numerous support services designed to assist them and their families during recovery. The City of San Diego truly commemorates your hand up, not a handout ideology, and we recognize the vital role you play for our warriors as they recover, rehabilitate, and transition back to civilian life. Thank you for that work. And I'll move the proclamations. Did Chris want to speak? It's okay if he doesn't. That's okay. Didn't want to miss an opportunity. Okay, and again, I'll move the proclamation. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Council President Pro Tem. All right, we've got a motion to approve the proclamation items. We'll now turn to Councilmember Lee.
Thank you, Thank you, Council President. Happy to second the proclamations agenda and would love to speak on item 31. First off, want to share a welcome back to Councilmember Campbell and thank her for joining me on this proclamation. I want to share our thanks to the American Pacific Health Foundation as well as the Asian Pacific American Medical Students Association at UC San Diego for bringing forth this proclamation to our offices in recognition of their 18th annual Hepatitis Awareness Conference that is taking place this weekend. Nationally, hepatitis B and C are among the most common liver and bloodborne infections, and it's estimated that over 640,000 Americans are living with chronic hepatitis B by 2022, and an estimated 2.7 to 3.9 million Americans were infected with hepatitis C. Furthermore, chronic hepatitis B infections occur approximately 11 times more frequently amongst Asian Americans. It is estimated that 2 in 3 Asian Americans with hepatitis B do not know that they are infected due to systemic barriers related to healthcare access, education, language barriers, and much more. Hepatitis B-related cancer is ultimately one of the leading causes of cancer amongst Asian Americans. As for hepatitis C, which is a leading cause of liver failure and end-stage liver disease, about 75% of those infected are unaware that they carry the virus and may not experience symptoms until years or even decades later. So thank you again to the American Pacific Health Foundation and the Asian Pacific American Medical Students Association for their work in educating the public and in improving hepatitis B and C access to preventative care, not only for Asian Americans, but underserved populations in general. Councilmember Campbell and I are certainly honored to proclaim your conference date as the 18th annual APAMSA Conference, Hepatitis B and C Awareness and Prevention Day in the city of San Diego. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilmember Lee. We've got a motion and a second. Councilmember Campbell.
Thank you, Council President. First of all, I'd like to start with item S502. I want to thank Renee Mezzo for her 25 years of service to our city with the Developmental Services Department. I should say Development Services Department, where she played a key role in many important projects, such as leading in the Land Development Code Update Team and bringing code updates for the California Coastal Commission on behalf of our city. Renee was a big help to my office as we created the short-term vacation rental ordinance, which was a huge project that we could not have completed without her help. She was instrumental in ensuring that the coastal community was involved and informed throughout the entire process, and I want to thank her for her hard work and dedication, and best of luck, Renee, in your future endeavors. Next, I'd like to speak on item 31. I am proud to recognize Hepatitis B and C Awareness and Prevention Day with Councilmember Lee, and to acknowledge the UCSD chapter of the Asian Pacific American Medical Students Association as they work with the American Pacific Health Foundation to raise awareness around hepatitis B and C and improve access to preventive care for Asian Americans and others who may be underserved in this regard. Asian Americans are 11 times more frequently affected by hepatitis C or B than other Americans, and this can often lead to serious liver problems and cancer. Hepatitis C is the #1 cause of liver failure, but nearly 3/4 of those infected are not aware that they are until years or decades have passed since being infected. Prevention and treatment has improved greatly in the last few years, so please consult your doctor if you have any concerns or if you would like to find out if you may be carrying hepatitis B or C and be unaware of it. Thank you so much, Council President.
Thank you, Councilmember Campbell. All right, we have a motion and a second. I will also express my appreciation to Renee Mezzo for all the work done over your decades of service to the city. If I am understanding correctly, that the journey began as an intern and eventually led to becoming an assistant deputy director. As we say all the time, nothing good that happens at the city is possible without our city employees and the folks who've stayed committed to this city despite oftentimes not seeing the recognition or appreciation for that work during previous administrations and during tough times here at the city. I just have a world of respect and a ton of appreciation for. So thank you so much for sticking with San Diego for so long and providing all the benefits that come with the knowledge, skill, and experience of spending so much time working here at the city of San Diego. We appreciate you, and your retirement is very, very well deserved. With that, we have a motion and a second, and I will ask, we'll just do a quick voice vote. All those in favor of approving the proclamation items, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? So that passes unanimously, and we will move on to our morning discussion agenda. That passes unanimously. With
Council Member Foster, Councilmember Whitburn and Councilmember Von Wilbert absent.
All right, so 7-0 vote. We'll now move to our morning discussion agenda. Clerk, if you'd please introduce item 330.
Thank you. Item 330 is the extension of a parking management contract for Library Department. 6 votes are required pursuant to Charter Section 99. If you'd like to speak to this item, please be sure to raise your hand by pressing *9 or the raise your hand icon, or if you're here in council chambers, please be sure to submit your speaker slip to the high lectern. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, once our presenters are ready, please introduce yourself for the record and let us know which time you'd like for this presentation.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, Council President Elo Rivera, Council President Pro Tem LaCava, honorable council members. My name is Raul Gudino. I'm Deputy Director with the Library Department. Attending with me virtually is Misty Jones, Library Director, and also Christian Silva, Program Manager in the Equal Opportunity Contracting section. Today, we are seeking your approval of the First Amendment to the parking management contract with Ace Parking for the Library Department. I'll need 5 minutes, please.
Please proceed.
Starting with a brief introduction, the city contracts out parking management services for its pay for parking garages. The library department has 2 garages where operator services are used. First, the downtown Central Library with 250 stalls. The facilities benefit patrons, E3 Civic High School, and the general public for events happening in and around East Village. Second is the Mission Hillcrest Library parking garage with 90 parking stalls. 2 months ago, this item was presented to the City Council on September 23rd as concerns were raised regarding the diversity in workforce with ACE Parking. The Library Department met with the Equal Opportunity Contracting Division of the Purchasing and Contracting Department and has decided to move forward with a workforce audit that will be conducted on November 21st, 2024. A letter of notification of contract compliance review was sent to ACE Parking on October 28th with the outline purpose regarding equal employment obligations and actions. Moving along, I'd like to highlight that this contract is a revenue generator for the general fund and averages an approximately $700,000 per fiscal year, as you will see in the next slide. ACE Parking is the current parking management services provider. However, the current 5-year term sunset in January 2024. The library is requesting the City Council to approve an extension through December 2024, which would allow ACE Parking to be paid for services rendered, as well as ongoing services to carry us through the award of the new contract. Here is the historical look at the annual revenues and expenditures. For the new contract, the city issued an RFP on June 5th, 2024, with ACE being the winner. As stated previously, the department takes responsibility for the lapse in the contract, which was primarily due to turnover in our department and our inability to fill vacancies quickly. Unfortunately, several contracts were impacted. However, I'd like to also state that we have guardrails in place now to ensure contracts are brought to council with ample time for approval. We've just developed a live tracking document as well as a weekly meeting with the Purchasing and Contracting Department to review, discuss contracts and statuses. I will also add that the department was able to complete the new parking RFP 2 months ahead of estimated schedule, and we were able to send a notice of intent to award for the new contract on September 11th, 2024. The proposed actions being requested here are to, 1, authorize the mayor or designee to execute a First Amendment to extend the contract with ACE Parking from July 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2024 for an additional amount not to exceed $350,148, bringing the total cost of the agreement to $1.8 million. This is with existing budget. Authorize the CFO to expend an amount not to exceed $350,148 for a total contract of $1.8 million, excuse me. I'm sorry, the second one is to authorize the CFO to expend an amount not to exceed $350,148. I apologize. Any questions on this item? That concludes the presentation.
Thank you so much. Let's hear public comment, please.
There is no public comment here in council chambers, but we do have speakers online, starting with 7968. If you can please unmute. I have started the 5-minute timer here. 7968, you'll have 2 minutes.
Thank you, City Clerk Fuentes. Joyce Zenyatta, District 3. Good to see you, Mr. Guadagno, and your work is wonderful. My library is really only central, so thank you for your work, and thank you for this work, and to the rest of the team. Central is really clicking on all cylinders. Thank you so much. So I'm excited to hear what you've done with the equity issue and ACE. The word audit is music to my heart. So thank you on that. And ACE, thank you. Join us on this big time, ACE, and you're going to have a feather in your hat if you really make some great strides on equity for us and for the people of San Diego. So $700,000 in revenue, that's really good. And I do see all kinds of events coming in there, weddings and high school graduations. I may be wrong on that, but all kinds of wonderful events use that facility at Central. And so that money, the revenue that's coming in is so great and appreciated. And I just wondered where that revenue, maybe it was in the backup, I didn't read it all. Does it stay in the library pocket? And is it used for all our libraries? I hope so. So I approve this contract. I appreciate you listening and love to all.
Thank you. That next is Blair Beekman. If you can please unmute.
Hi, Blair Beekman. Thank you for the work you've done for this item on this item. It takes a lot of this good know-how to be working towards equity concepts for this sort of issue. So thank you for your efforts. I hope the same good efforts with this part of library issues can also be addressed with security issues for our libraries. And the concepts of Reimagine can really be practiced well. And we want to practice those things well together. Good luck how we can do that. And thank you again for this item.
That concludes your comments?
I'm done. That concludes my comments.
Thank you. That concludes public comment on this item.
All right, thank you, Clerk. We'll begin with Councilmember Campillo.
Thank you, Council President. I want to thank staff for bringing this item forward and knowing that ACE Parking is one of our closest and longest standing partners in the city in managing this particular contract. I know that they've made multiple commitments since this item was last brought forward. So with that, I'm happy to move approval of item 330. Thank you.
All right, we have a motion on the floor, and we'll now turn to Councilmember Foster.
Yes, thank you, Council President, and thank you, staff, for returning with this item. Would also like to thank Mr. Keith Jones, as this item came before us previously. After that hearing, he immediately reached out to our office and scheduled a meeting, which I truly do appreciate. And he has ensured me his continued commitment to diversity and inclusion as he continues his work for the city of San Diego. So thank you for that. Also, CODA, just thank you for your willingness to work and ensure that we have a compliance review moving forward. Truly appreciate those efforts of yourself and the mayor's office. So thank you for that. And thank you to the EOC and the library departments. With that, I will be supporting this item today and second the motion as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Foster. All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Clerk, please call the roll.
I started the voting system. Please cast your vote. Thank you. That does pass unanimously 7-0 with Councilmember Byrne and Councilmember Von Wilpert absent.
All right, let's hear our next item, please.
Our next item is item 331, authorization to retain Stoll Rivs LLP as outside counsel for Coastkeeper versus City of San Diego, case number 3:18-CVs-01757-GM-WVG and waiver of potential conflict of interest. If you'd like to speak to this item, please raise your hand or submit a speaker slip at the high lectern.
All right, once our presenter is ready, please introduce yourself for the record and let us know how much time you'd like for your presentation.
Please press on the microphone. Thank you.
Good morning, council members. I'm Melissa Abels with the Office of the Attorney. Today, we are before you to ask for authorization to retain Stoll Reeves as outside counsel for the Coastkeeper v. City of San Diego matter and to request approval of a waiver of potential conflict of interest.
Please proceed.
By way of background, in early 2017, San Diego Coastkeeper and the Coastal Environmental Rights Foundation alleged violations of the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System general permit for stormwater discharges associated with industrial activities, the industrial general permit at 5 city facilities: the Miramar Landfill, Metro Biosolid Center, North City Water Reclamation Plant, South Bay Water Reclamation Plant, and Point Loma Wastewater Treatment Plant. In March 2018, the city retained Downey Brand attorneys to represent the city. That was a sole source contract based on the experience and expertise of the lead counsel, Nicole Granquist, who has been representing the city since that time. Ms. Granquist assisted the city in negotiating a settlement that was approved and entered as a consent decree by the district court in November of 2018. And since that time, she has assisted the city with implementation of the consent decree and compliance with the industrial general permit. In September of last year, council authorized an amendment to the consent decree that extended the dates of completion for certain construction projects related to the diversion of stormwater at each of the city facilities. On September 30th, Ms. Granquist moved her legal practice to Stoll Reeves. Ms. Granquist has significant experience and expertise in this very technical and complex area of law and is familiar with the city facilities and the terms and conditions of the consent decree. So the city will continue to need legal representation until it has satisfied all of the terms and conditions of the consent decree, which at this time is not anticipated to be until at least December of 2026. The city is in the process of trying to extend the deadlines for specific city facilities, and it is important to have a knowledgeable attorney familiar with the matter to assist with this extension. If the council authorizes the retention of Stoll Reeves, the contract will be submitted to the mayor for approval. It is anticipated to have a term not to exceed 5 years and an amount not to exceed $75,000. As part of this process, Stoll Reeves has requested a waiver of potential conflict of interest. Stoll Reeves currently represents the San Diego Metropolitan Transit System in affordable housing transit-oriented development on MTS-owned land and transit-related facilities and infrastructure projects located within the city. The city is potentially adverse to MTS on these land use matters because the city would be issuing permits in the land use and environmental permitting setting. The land use matters are unrelated to the legal representation that Stoll Reeves will provide to the city on the consent decree and compliance with the industrial general permit. Stoll Reeves will maintain the confidentiality of any information received from the city and will screen or create an ethical wall between the attorneys working on the city's matter from those working on the MTS matters. The proposed actions are to request the authorization of the retention of Stoll Reeves as outside counsel and to approve the request for a waiver of conflict of interest for Stoll Reeves' representation of MTS on the land use matters. And with that, we can take questions.
Thank you so much. All right, clerk, do we have any public comment on this item?
We have no public comment here in council chambers. I'll go to those participating remotely. Started the 5-minute timer. Blair Beekman, if you can please unmute.
Hi, thank you. Blair Beekman. My Zoom may cut out here. I'm on a train right now, so hopefully my Zoom won't cut out. Thank you a lot for this item. Thank you. It sounds like an interesting person who you really want to be around for your storm drain issues and how they end up in all the different treatment facilities in San Diego. With your pure water issues coming up, I imagine she has a certain technicality, grace in understanding those things, hopefully, as well. And what I felt with all this good experience and in working with MTS, what isn't a conflict of interest, is the work we're doing with Mexico right now around the future of the Tijuana River Valley and pure water issues. I think her services could be really helpful in how to help talk with Mexico and to work towards what I've heard good words talked about, a conciliatory path with Mexican officials, Tijuana officials, and working to be humble in the asks in the process, and that can reciprocate humbleness back from the Mexico side. I think both of your sides have a little bit of an ego at stake, and if we can both learn to bring that down a bit, hopefully something really important and good can develop, and for all of us. And with pure water and with the Tijuana River Valley, and I feel this lawyer has maybe have a good connection in how to help facilitate that. So good luck in those efforts to everyone in those good goals and those good concepts. And thank you for this item and how to be talking about pure water responsibly for our future. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes public comment on item 331.
All right, thank you, clerk. Councilmember Campillo, we'll start with you.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, staff. I understand that Ms. Granquist is the absolute expert on this and has helped us so much. And on this particular issue, we don't even know if we're going to need her help on any particular issue. So the 75,000 seems very reasonable, just in case we do need her help. Happy to move approval.
Thank you, Councilmember Campillo. Got a motion to approve, and we'll now turn to Councilmember Campbell.
Thank you very much. I would like to second the motion.
All right, we got a motion and a second. I don't see any additional requests to speak to this item. Clerk Fuentes, please call the roll.
I started the voting system. Please cast your vote. And that passes unanimously, 7-0, with Councilmember Whitburn and Councilmember Von Wilpert absent.
All right, thank you so much, Clerk. We will now move to our non-agenda public comment. As a reminder, council members respect and appreciate public's input and are committed to free speech rights. Clerk, please proceed.
Thank you. Per Rule 2.7, non-agenda public comment is an opportunity for members of the public to comment on items that are not on the agenda but within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. Each speaker will have 2 minutes. Please note if there are 8 or more speakers on a single topic, the maximum time for the topic will be 16 minutes. If you're in chambers, please submit your speakers up to the high lectern. If you are participating virtually, *9 or the raise your hand icon, starting with Ellen Louise DeBozer. If you can please come up to the high lectern, you'll have 2 minutes.
Council members, pleased to be here. My name is Ellen Louise DeBocher, and I live in the community sector of Bankers Hill. I moved to San Diego approximately a year ago, actually from the Northeast, and it's a very beautiful area. Okay, that being said, 2 things I want to talk about today. Money is very tight. Money is very tight. I understand that. One of the ways I'm trying to think of solutions for things that we're experiencing in the neighborhood. I joined the Bankers Hill Community Group, and I've also been entered into the Bankers Hill Neighborhood Safety Committee. Is another thing that I'm participating in. And up until this point, I have never said a word about what's going on. I'm trying to see what's going on. One of the things that was going on is I rent. I'm a renter. I'm also a senior citizen. I'm also disabled. Okay. In the building that I rent in, there seemed to be a lot of problems, and there were problems. I'm actually the oldest woman in my building. The majority of people in my building are younger than I am. They're in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and they work full time. They also work gig jobs on the side, so they're working all the time. And they're having a lot of incidents getting back and forth from where their cars are parked, to public transportation, getting to their employment, and getting around. We've had incidents. I brought with me today a copy of the San Diego PD request for additional patrol.
We can definitely take that if you'd like to submit that for.
Yes, I would.
Okay. Christina, if you can get that from her. We'll make sure to pass it along. We'll now go to those participating remotely. That was your time of the 2 minutes that were allocated to you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Can I submit this?
Yes, for sure. Christina.
The neighborhood watch that I started in the building?
We'll make sure that it's passed out.
Been very successful. And the last thing I'd like to submit is the printout here for the San Diego area medium income of 119,000.
Thank you for that concluding comment. We're going to those participating remotely. Blair Beekman, if you can please unmute. Thank you for coming down. Unfortunately, your 2 minutes did expire.
Okay.
So these will get submitted to the council.
Can I request 1 more minute?
Unfortunately, we have to be fair to all speakers, and it is 2 minutes per person.
Okay.
But we can definitely, myself can come down and talk to you about different ways you can participate and you can communicate with the council members.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Blair Beekman, if you can please unmute. There you go. You'll have 2 minutes. Please proceed.
Hi, thank you. Blair Beekman. Thank you to the previous public speaker. Good luck. She can learn to manage her time better. It takes practice. Yeah, so for myself, just I'm very sorry that as a nation we can't better practice and understand that inviting Trump for a second term as president is kind of like in really poor taste. We don't understand that as a nation. I don't know why, but it's happened, and we have to live with it. I have to learn to live with it and learn to just be nice and accept, that the democratic process in action in work. And so with that, I mean, a lot of, people think he's going to go for peace in Ukraine and Israel. It's quite possible he's going to go straight into war still. He's going to want to prove his own macho-ness, the same as Nixon in Cambodia after, Vietnam. And Johnson was working on plans to end Vietnam War. I think Biden has been trying to work on plans to end the Ukraine war. And I can see Republican Party and deep state party persons saying, nope, Trump, we're going to go headlong and do much further. So there's no guarantee of things here. And we have to be really mindful that during administration change, deep state, they do some weird stuff. And so we have to be very cautious at this time and really be watchful and mindful. We can do that well. And it's with that's the work we can do at the local level at this time. And as always, if we practice openness and accountability, our best practices, at the local level, that creates the concepts of peace and asks our international level to work towards those good goals as well. So I really ask as yourselves to really find your best practices of peace here at the local level. That usually doesn't mean lying to the public, guys. That means being honest and direct to the public, community participation. That way you build peace and not fear. And we really need to do those things. Good luck how we can do that. And good luck to the Tijuana conference.
Your time has concluded. Thank you. Next is Peggy Walker. We have 6 people in the queue, and again, the 5-minute timer is going. Peggy Walker, please unmute.
Thank you. Good morning. I came to share news of high contamination reported in marijuana products sold legally and to ask this council to direct the city cannabis department to take steps to stop it in San Diego. The cannabis department should ensure that testing is better regulated so that tainted products that cause infections, dangerous immune responses, even death due to allergic reaction are not sold locally. We don't permit contamination in other products, so why should we allow it with marijuana? A Wall Street Journal report showed that underreporting of dangerous contaminants, including harmful mold in marijuana products, is rampant. Analysis of 2 million testings showed mold-tainted marijuana products are being cleared for sale, revealing a testing system that is not reporting dangerous substances in legally sold products. A San Diego test lab owner has previously verified such underreporting to be true. The system is flawed across the board, according to the Wall Street Journal, with growers, labs, and regulators exposing users to dangerous contaminants. Tess Elder, a University of Colorado research associate, blames a system that doesn't play by the rules. I ask you to direct the cannabis department to ensure that local testing labs do play by the rules and that products sold in this city are verified to have been tested by rule-abiding labs. The for-profit marijuana industry should not get away with passing off products with health-destroying contaminants. Thank you.
Thank you. And that does conclude the public comment speaker timer here in council chambers. We have 5 speakers left. No other additional speakers will be taken. Madison, if you can please unmute.
Hello, good morning, City Council members. I'm here today to bring attention to an important public health concern that affects both mothers and their children. This is important to me as a mother of 3 young children. A recent study from the University of Georgia revealed that nearly 6% of pregnant women report using marijuana, often to manage symptoms of morning sickness. While cannabis use may seem harmless to some, research consistently shows that its effects on both the mother and the fetus can be harmful. Studies have shown marijuana use during pregnancy is linked to serious outcomes such as low birth weight, premature birth, and developmental issues for the child. Despite this, 70% of the women who choose to use marijuana during pregnancy believe it poses little to no risk, which highlights the need for more awareness and education on the potential harms. This is especially concerning in states where medical marijuana is legal and easily accessible, as many women may turn to it without realizing the risks. I want to stress that there are safer, medically approved alternatives to help manage nausea during pregnancy, and women should be encouraged to consult with their healthcare providers before turning to cannabis. For women with a history of substance use disorders or mental health issues, the risks are even higher. This is particularly for vulnerable populations, and we must ensure that they receive the support and information that they need. I urge the council to consider policies that increase awareness about the dangers of cannabis use during pregnancy and promote safer, evidence-based options for pregnant women. Education, clear medical guidance, and thoughtful policy can help protect both mothers and their babies from preventable harm. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Next is phone number ending in 7968. Please unmute.
Thank you. This is part 4 of the Declaration of Interdependence for San Diego, Tijuana by Bruce Appleyard, PhD, and I quote, "And while recently inflamed nationalist discourses try to pry us from our shared regional identity, we become acutely aware of how the vision of our cross-cultural community provides a beam of light to illuminate and eliminate the dark shadow of fear cast over our regional partners, our neighbors, and our friends. Hence, we re-embrace temporary paradise and its shining beacon toward the true manifestation of our cross-border collaboration and binational synergy. Mark Twain once said this, "Travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness, and many of our people need it sorely on these accounts. Broad, wholesome, charitable views of men and things cannot be acquired by vegetating in one little corner of the earth all one's life." From me, that's the end of the Mark Twain quote. And I also want to say that Bruce Appleyard is a professor at San Diego State University. So thank you, Dr. Appleyard. I'm really enjoying doing this. And thank you for listening to part 4, and love to all.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Next is Judy Strang.
Good morning, San Diego City Council, and welcome back to City Council Member Campbell. You have been missed. I have appreciated, as an older woman myself, your voice, your rational voice in many of the discussions. I wanted to share with you an experience that I had Friday when I met with the PTAs in my area where I'm the Ledge VP. And I provided an update over the last year of legislation at Sacramento that the PTA had provided information regarding and the outcome. And I picked an overview of those things I thought my particular audience would find important and useful in their everyday lives. And the one that generated the most conversation was AB 1871. Was supported by the Education Department within California State PTA. It's regarding the study in grades 7 to 12 of how one becomes personally financially literate. And the conversation went like this: as people who have older siblings and older children have observed those who are on a journey in the pathway that sometimes ends up in homelessness, they've observed 2 things. One is somehow they got through childhood and adolescence and even young adulthood not understanding they would be financially responsible for themselves. And 2, the role that drug use during adolescence played in shortchanging them. And at that point, they kind of nodded at me because they know I try to bring alcohol, tobacco, and marijuana education to the conversation. And I think as we look at solutions for homelessness, remembering the observation on the ground is the role of financial literacy and the role of early drug use, particularly marijuana, hijacking our people. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Terry Ann Skelly. If you can please unmute, Terry Ann Skelly.
Good morning, San Diego City Council members, President Elo Rivera. My name is Terry Ann Skelly. I am a parent and volunteer for many youth-related, youth-oriented programs and policies, most of which improve health and safety for teens and young adults. It was just about 3 years ago that our state instigated a 5-year program to contend with homelessness, poverty, drug and alcohol abuse, mental illness, and street crime. It would utilize the state's Medi-Cal program, and it was called California Advancing and Innovating Medi-Cal, or CalAIM for short. It has 14 plus million enrollees, more than a third of the state's residents. Doing the math, if Medi-Cal pays for 33% of states' poor, federal Medicare pays for 17% of California residents over 65, then 50% of California taxpayers are paying the health costs of the other 50% of the residents, plus paying for their own. Therefore, it really matters what all of us choose regarding health and safety choices. It matters what the city adopts as policies and what businesses the city enables. It matters if we increase or enable or promote the use of alcohol, tobacco, or marijuana products, all of which can and do contribute to personal health problems and can and do create havoc for families and our neighborhoods. Just like tobacco and its predatory vaping products, marijuana and its highly concentrated THC products seldom improve the quality of people's health and their productivity or their educational outcomes. Thank you for hearing my concerns this morning.
Thank you. And our last speaker is Megan Stewart. If you can please unmute.
Thank you. Good morning, council members. My name is Megan Stewart, and I'm here today to express my concerns about the environmental impact of the marijuana industry, which is far greater than we may realize. A recent study revealed that California's permitted marijuana market produces almost as much waste as our state's household pharmaceutical sector. This waste, much of it from vape pens, cartridges, and excessive packaging, is piling up in our landfills. Unlike household hazardous waste, toxic marijuana products and their packaging lack a structured recycling or waste management system, resulting in serious risks for our community's health and environment. Without a solution to this issue, professionals are suggesting that the marijuana industry may never become environmentally sustainable. The high environmental toll that marijuana is taking on our state can also be seen in how marijuana is cultivated. Growing marijuana indoors has a large carbon footprint, consuming a large part of the state's energy, having the impact of depleting energy resources and increasing costs to residents over time. Before continuing to expand marijuana operations in our city, I urge you all to consider these environmental factors and rather prioritize sustainable development to protect our natural resources from the costly impacts of the marijuana industry. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And that concludes on-agenda public comment.
Right. Thank you, Clerk Fuentes. All right. With that, we will adjourn for the recess, noon recess, and reconvene at 2 p.m. Thank you, everyone.